A few years ago, Kia Philippines gave us the Stonic. We liked it, but we felt it could do with improvements in many key areas. And now they're doing just that. The only problem is, it's no longer the Stonic. This is the Sonet. Hey everyone, Vince here from AutoIndustriya.com, and today I've got the new Kia Sonet 1.5 SX for you. And I've also got a lot of wind because it's kicking up a storm right about now. Now, the Kia Sonet, this is going to be the replacement, well it is, the replacement of the Stonic here in the Philippine market. Yes, the Stonic, they launched it a couple of years ago, and we did note a few things we want to change, like the styling, the height, the interior, and the overall feel of the vehicle feels more like a hatchback rather than a crossover. And it seems Kia has taken all those notes to give us something that the market would really want. It feels more crossover-ish, the styling very much changed, and many more things with the interior. We'll discuss that to you in a bit. As you can see, this is a subcompact, actually more like a mini compact crossover, because it measures just about 4 meters long. So you can fit this in even the smallest of carports. Hindi naman siguro yung pang motorsiklo, but still very, very compact. But the styling, this is something that we found during our walk around of this. It was really appealing. The way they have the red, the grille, the tiger nose grille, the new generation look, the lower bumper with the silver, the black, and all that trim, even the way they do the headlights. Now, there are some examples of the Sonet in other markets which has a different look, but we like the look we're getting here in the Philippines, especially with the way the LED goes. They call this the star map. I mean, I'm not really sure where the star map is, but still looks very nice the way it goes down there. Very, very striking, especially at night. And we've seen quite a few examples of this vehicle roaming our roads now. You can see from the side, it really does resemble the Kia Stonic when it comes to the sides. But in a few key areas, it's really much better. For one, ground clearance. It's now 205 millimeters instead of the Stonic's 185 or 180, I think, thereabouts. And it looks more SUV-ish rather than hatchback. That is something we've always noted with the Stonic. Feels and looks and drives more like a hatchback rather than a crossover. In this one, definitely more crossover. Now let's go over some of the details. It does have a very kind of macho-ish look about it for something so small. And it does have these fender flares, the side skirt there, the cladding. It looks very SUV-ish. That's what a lot of people want out of their crossovers. The wheels, 16 inches with Kumho Solus tires. You have the black roof, black A-pillars, black side mirrors, all that with the vehicle. And the silver roof rails, but the roof rails, these are not load-bearing. It's for display only. So yeah, if you want to load something onto the roof of your Sonet, you have to go with something, you know, actually load-bearing, not just for display. Now, grip-type door handles with the door unlock there. But one thing I really want to note here, one of my indicators for any quality vehicle is the alignment of the doors. And here we can see that. One indicator, of course, you can just look at the door trim there. If it's all perfectly lined up, which is the case with the Sonet, then it's gonna feel good when you drive it. And even when you close and open the doors, like listen to this. Nice and satisfying, that thud right there. And then you have the rear glass here. It's not a privacy glass, but we did not expect that in this class anyway. It does have a little porthole here, which does look a bit odd to me, but still looks very good overall. You know, the more I check out the Sonet, the more I think to myself, it reminds me of a Voltlander. Hello, fellow Titos. But the rear of the vehicle looks nice. The back glass is not as steeply raked, I think, as the one in the Stonic. The taillights look very neat, and it's a full-width LED that spans the entire tailgate, the width of the tailgate. New Kia logo, Sonet logo here. Nice clean rear bumper with reflectors and a trim here it just looks premium, far more than the price would normally allow. You also have sensors here in the back and a rear view camera, and your release for the tailgate is right over there. Now, when you open that up, the space you get is about 40 inches wide, 29 inches long, and actually pretty good when it comes to height overall. You can also fold down the rear seat, and it folds down 60/40 style. But it doesn't give you a fully flat compartment, so there is gonna be a ledge. But I think that's all right, all things considered. The length goes up to around 52 or 51, depending on where you measure. So pretty good space from something so small. And that's going to be a key thing for the Kia Sonet, how it maximizes space. This does share the platform with the Hyundai Venue. And also with that vehicle, we noticed that the space maximization is pretty good. Same with this one. You know, like when you were a kid, when your parents would come into your room to inspect if you're makalat, or when visitors come over to your house and you sweep things under the rug. Well, this is kind of the automotive equivalent of that, because car makers think our customers aren't gonna look here, but we do. And here we can see that Kia is being very, very neat with the engine bay. We like that attention to detail. You know, you look around, you can see everything seems to be in its proper place. This is like organized like a desk, probably even more organized than my own desk. Everything's like neat 90-degree lines, everything's squared away. That is what you want. You want this kind of attention to detail, not just a random collection of the cheapest parts you can find. Kia certainly impresses in this regard. Powering the Kia Sonet is a 1.5-liter naturally aspirated gasoline engine. Now, in other markets, there are versions that have turbo diesels. There are also turbo gasoline engines, much smaller, but for our market, they go with a 1.5. And the reason for that is that this is made in China, and the 1.5-liter gives them the most affordable package they can offer our market because it qualifies for the ACFTA, which brings down the tariffs to really good levels to be able to make the car more affordable. Now, the engine itself is a 1.5-liter naturally aspirated engine with dual port injection. So it's not the one with the GDI in front, it's dual port injection. It gives Hyundai and Kia, yes, it's a shared engine, the ability to play around with the air-fuel ratio to optimize it to give you better efficiency. Power is 115 PS and torque is just over 140. The transmission is an IVT, or Hyundai Kia speak for a CVT driving the front wheels. There's no all-wheel drive option because this is really pitched as something great for the city. Now, what else do we see? Like I mentioned, neat engine bay. I can see the ABS unit back there, and of course the stability control, all that stuff controlled there. The ECU is right here. But what I really like, and it's really hidden here, is that you have a strut bar connecting the two shock towers over there, which is actually a good thing. Let's see how it handles later on. For a crossover that's undeniably in the budget class, you look around, you sit in it, you touch things. Yes, it's all plastic, pretty much everything around here, except for the shifter and this. And you realize it doesn't feel budget. You know, you look at the texture of the plastic, looks good. The piano black, yeah, not everyone's a fan of piano black, but because of the fingerprints you can leave behind. But it looks good. You have two screens, 10.25, 10.25. You got a nice automatic climate control panel here with actual buttons, not just the kind that you would go through a touch screen. So we like this kind of thing. Even the way they did the recirculation buttons, it looks like a crossover or even a bigger SUV rather than a passenger sedan, which we like. There are some empty spots here. You have your parking camera there. But you look around, you look at the leather. This is, by the way, the tan and the black. It looks good. You know, it doesn't feel like you're shopping in the bargain basement class. And that is something Kia is doing really well, clearly, with the way they do the Sonet. So that's the impression it gives. The steering wheel, it feels good. Like it's got the stitching here, very nice, flat bottom. It's only tilt. It's not telescopic, but still it's all well and good. You have buttons on the left for the cruise control. It does have cruise control and it does have the DriveWise advanced safety features, but it doesn't have the adaptive cruise control. So keep that in mind, at least not that I can tell anyway. But you do get some of the advanced features that you would expect for something, actually you wouldn't even expect it for this kind of price. Now on the right, you have your controls for your telephone and your audio system. Nice horn button there with the new Kia logo. Actually looks more like a KN logo, but still, that's it actually looks really good. Now in front of you, you've got a screen here for your main driving display. So right now, let me get out of that mode. It's got a display for dual binnacle. I mean, it's a screen, but it tries to simulate the dual cluster display. On the left, speedometer. I don't think you're going to be reaching 240 in this one. And then on the right, your tachometer, very clean. It only changes when you pop it into sport on the transmission. So it goes silver there. If anything, it looks kind of Mercedes in that respect. Now, right here you can see the status of your advanced safety features for the vehicle, and then you can see things like fuel economy, range, and that kind of stuff. The stocks look really good, but everything is really concentrated on this screen. So right now you can see it has this purple thing going on. When you swipe to the left or to the left. When you swipe to the left, then you can start accessing all the features of the vehicle. So phone, voice memo, the climate, you can also use this. It even has features like the sounds of nature, which let me see if I can pop it up. Calm sea waves. I feel like I'm in Boracay or something, but quieter. Let's try the next one. Night in the country. Crickets, right? And then, oh, that's a cricket. Sorry, this is just night in the country. The coyote in the background. I'd be scared if I heard a coyote in the background. Cricket conversations. Birds singing. Okay, you can go through all of rainy day. That's just gonna make you want to pee. And then, but that's really it. That's really all these like nice little ambient sound feature that you get in the Sonet. And then you have the Android Auto. And mind you, the Android Auto of this is wireless. So my phone is sitting there on a wireless charging pad, and I can just have it, nice and active right now. I think there's a glitch in my system. There you go. So that's pretty good. Anyways, let's get out of that view again, and let's continue on with the other features of the car. So down here, you have USB, USB-C, 12-volt outlet there. That's the key indicator for the charging, for the wireless charger. It's not going to be active while the passenger door is open. Transmission control is right here, like I said, like I showed you earlier. PRND, and you have sport mode there. You push the shift up, pull the shift down. There are no paddle shifters in this variant, even though this is a top-of-the-line version. Cup holders here with a little pocket in the middle, I think for your phone or something, or wallet even, it'll fit. This one, it's a bit small, the center armrest. This one is quite spacious, and something I want to point out, and I really noticed, Kia has a nice pouch for your manual, warranty booklet, and such. I mean, it's a bit messy in there with receipts, but it looks good. I mean, it looks it almost looks like custom or artisan style thing. And that's what I think Kia is going for in this vehicle, even though it is a budget vehicle. The rear view mirror is a night and day mode, simple. You have mirrors on both sides, vanity mirrors on both sides, which is good. I mean, I can do my makeup here if I wanted to. And then you have this sunglass holder there and a little sunroof. Now you may think, what's this going to be useful for? Well, after a hot day, you kind of want to vent all the hot air out if you were parked under the sun. That's gonna come in handy. Now, what else do we notice here? The airbags, these are just dual airbags. You don't get the 6 because there are no airbag indicators here or even on the side, so that's something to keep in mind. So for safety features, like I mentioned, you do get the advanced safety features here, but not the adaptive cruise control, that kind of thing. But you do get AEB. You get double airbags, 2 in front, but none on the side. You get the ESP, you get the ABS. Those covers pretty much the basics of the vehicle. And then you sit in it. The seating position is a bit more upright, a bit more SUV-ish, which is kind of nice. The leather they use for this is also very good. Same with the back seat. And one thing I did note in the back seat is that the thigh support is pretty good, at least for someone of my height. There's also a flip-down center armrest there, which has cup holders. Nice for comfort on the long drive. For 3 people, it's gonna be a bit tight in terms of width, but if you're all thin back there, it should be perfectly fine. Now, what else can I tell you about the interior? Really, it's just that it really gives the impression that it's trying to give you more than what you asked for. It's trying to give you more value in terms of the impression and the appearance that it gives you. But does it really feel better than the price tag allows? Let's drive it now. the Kia Sonet is a surprising vehicle to drive around. And I say surprising because normally in this class of car, you're not expecting, let's say, refinement or good sound deadening or a good ride, because one, it's short wheelbase, and two, they have to make it to a certain price point, so that means they're gonna have to skip some of the sound deadening you would expect in more expensive, larger vehicles. In this one, I think they achieved pretty good levels, all things considered, for something so small and for something so affordable. So cruising around, let's say, the bumpier parts of EDSA, the dampening of the suspension is really good. The damping of the suspension is good. The sound dampening is also good. And compared to, let's say, some of the other cheaper vehicles we've tried, or at least something in this price range, like maybe Raize. If you compare Raize to this, there's actually a big difference, and you can feel it from the moment you take it out on EDSA for the first time. So that's something that's really to Kia's favor with this vehicle. The other thing is the lack of vibration from the engine, because we only drove this for a little bit over in I think it was Laguna, or was it Cavite, but the difference when it comes to the smoothness of the engine compared to a Raize or even the Yaris Cross, which is a bigger vehicle, this one you can feel the difference. Like, not much vibration, it feels good to drive. The CVT or the IVT is okay when it comes to this kind of driving. You can keep the revs down low, which is a good thing, especially for the city. But here, we're going around some of the bumpiest parts of the clover leaf, and we'll try to show you how it feels inside. I mean, watch how I move inside when it goes over the bumps. It's good. And again, this is a short wheelbase car. Like, the wheelbase is only 2,500, 2.5 meters here. Bumpy, not much there. Pothole, pretty good. I mean, I'm intentionally going over potholes. Yeah, some people would kind of frown upon, oh, you should avoid the potholes. No, but for us, that's part of our process. You want to feel what it's like, and you can see the ride is not crashy over the potholes. That is very much a good thing. But now that the road's opening up a little bit, transmission response is okay in normal mode. Let's try it, let's say, in sport mode when the gauges go silver. It's a little bit quicker, not by that much, but still, all things considered, it's actually pretty good. And look, right in front of me, an MG ZS, and that kind of has set the expectations of many customers in this class of car. Something small. I mean, that's a bigger vehicle than this, slightly, but still, the expectations there that you want good features, you want good value for money, and MG delivered, and that's why it's so popular. With the Sonet, it's kind of a similar formula. It is a smaller package overall, but the refinement on this one, I'd say it's also better compared to some of the more basic variants of the MG ZS. So now, driving it around, I mean, it's okay. You can feel it now. When it comes to fuel economy, that's also a good aspect when it comes to this vehicle, because in the city, we're averaging just under 10. It's been more traffic lately, it really all depends on traffic. And on the highway, upwards of 17, which is pretty good. I know we can get more, we can adjust the driving style to do that, but it's more fun to overtake. So rather than wait behind the slow vehicle, you want to overtake. And this one is actually fairly decent. It does change when it comes to, let's say, when you're loaded up with people and all that, because that, I think, is going to be one of the criticisms of this, is that when you have a full cabin, or even just maybe 3 or 4 people inside, it's going to feel a lot slower, because you can only do so much with a 1.5 liter naturally aspirated engine. If you're solo or just 2 of you, then it's gonna feel all right. Like, you drive it around, you floor it, it responds. It's not gonna be quick by any stretch of the imagination. We do wish it had a turbo, or like had that 1 liter turbo version, but the way we see it, it's probably gonna drive up the cost by quite a bit. So that would have been a no-go for this vehicle. But really, it's this kind of refinement that kind of gets you in this vehicle, because some people would look at this class of car, it's the budget car class, and you're prepared to live with a lot of downsides to be able to have a brand new car. This one, I'm trying to think of ways that to describe it when it comes to those kinds of compromises. Let's see. You can't adjust the seat belts. There's no side curtain airbags. There's none of some of those like features that we would consider to be, let's say, luxuries in this one. But all things considered, I think Kia did good when it comes to the product planning of this. And this could be ideal for someone looking for their first car, because it does have Kia's long warranty here in the Philippines. But it can also suit someone who's looking for a smaller car, let's say to go from something bigger, which can be cumbersome, or maybe an older vehicle that's getting more expensive to maintain, to go into something like this. I think they've got something really good in the Sonet. What really is gonna matter is when it comes to the pricing and whether this vehicle is going to be the right variant for you. Let's head back to the warehouse now. If there's one phrase I would use to describe the Sonet, is that it's definitely not bargain basement. Because a lot of the characteristics of the vehicle, style, interior, features, the way it feels when you're on the road, even on EDSA, definitely not bargain basement. It feels like it's punching well above its price tag, and that's what we want to see. Now, the pricing of this one is 1.138 million pesos. Personally, I could do without a lot of the things of the vehicle, like some of the things that would pump up the price to 1.13. There's a lower variant, the EX Automatic, which minus a few of the nicer trimmings, which is at 978,000. And I think that is going to be the real sweet spot of the Sonet. But we'll save that review for later on. But also, what I think Kia needs to address is continuity when it comes to their model ranges. If you notice, a lot of car makers, particularly in the Philippines, they do a continuity of all their vehicles from one generation of another, preserving the name. With Kia, they seem to be like going from one model to another. Maybe it's about time they really lock it down, so customers of one Sonet can go from one generation to another, so there's that kind of continuity of feel. But hey, is that important to you? Let us know in the comments below. This is Vince of AutoIndustriya.com. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like if you found this vehicle useful, and subscribe if you want to see more of what we got for you in the near future.